Good day. I'm going to use up the last of my syrup. Today we're making maple sugar candy. It's very simple to do. You only need a few things. Pot with a little bit of syrup in it. Candy thermometer. And some candy molds. These are maple leaf candy molds. The standard issue for maple sugar candy. Brand new molds that I just received. I do have some older molds that I have not washed because the silicone is getting quite old, quite brittle and flaking, so that's basically just going to go into the garbage when I have a chance. So let's get to it. Pot simply goes onto the stove and turn it up to high heat. One good little trick to keep it from boiling over. Just a little bit of butter. And run that along the edge of the pot so that it won't boil over the top and make a big mess. Just have to rub a little bit around the edges. Of course, you can't use butter if you're going for vegan. If that's the case, then you can either use oil or a hemlock stick over the top. Put the candy thermometer in and wait. We'll come back when it comes up to temperature. And one last thing that you will need before you get up to temperature is something to stir with. I have a nice wooden paddle that I made years ago. It does the job well. If you don't have one, a wooden spoon will do the job. And you can even use an electric mixer if you want to get most of the way there, and whatever works. You can see we have a nice bubble going on. Hanging right at the top of the pan. Temperature is now up to about 215. So we got a little ways to go. Should take about 10 minutes to get up the temperature under good heat. Pot's just a little bit small, but it's the one I had on hand at the time. Didn't want to use my big one for the amount of syrup I had. And the temperature's climbing. We're up to 225 mark now. That's Fahrenheit, in case anyone was wondering. Most syrup recipes are using Fahrenheit. So, you just have to evaporate the excess water out and thicken it up, and pretty soon it'll be ready to move on to the next stage. And we are hitting the 235 mark now. So, simply remove the heat, slide the pan off the heat, get the thermometer out of the way. Yes, it'll take washing. And then you just mix it. Just have to keep mixing until it turns into a nice creamy substance. This will take a few minutes, so through the miracle of camera time, we'll be right back with it at the right stage. And it's starting to lighten up in color. So it's probably almost halfway there. A few more minutes of mixing. That's about 4 minutes in so far. So probably another 5 minutes and it'll be ready to put in the molds. And another 3 minutes later, we're really getting, I don't know if I can focus on that. Let's try adding, there we go, a little more light. That's getting very close. I'm just going to keep the camera running. Maybe I can do a cutout in my editing software later, because once this hits the right stage, which is coming fast, then I gotta move. So if I turn the camera off, I won't have time to turn it back on. Late season syrup, so I don't know if I'm really going to get the color I'm looking for. But it's turning grainy. Already at a decent maple butter stage. You could stop right there and you might have maple butter, but if you're aiming for butter, you want to go about 5 degrees cooler. This is a lot quicker than the way I used to do it when I actually had a lot of customers wanting to buy the candy. Because I used to use a 1.5 by 3 foot pan on a wood-fired stove. That would take a long time to get up to temperature, and that would take a lot of mixing. So it is now quite a good paste. So simply plaster it into the molds as fast as you can. Trying not to burn yourself on the pot like I just did. There are times when a kitchen spatula might actually work better for doing this. That actually thickened too fast. That, having a little extra on the side of the mold, it'll crumble off, it'll still be edible. This part of the job, it really helps to have a second person to be smoothing in while one gets it into place. And sometimes you'll end up with a little bit left on the scoop, but if you got a kid around, you can give them a big lollipop. Don't have any better place to put the pot for the moment, so I'll sign off and come back after everything's set and I can pop it out of the molds. There, now that the candies have had a while to sit, we will pop them out of the mold and see what they look like. These molds are nice, you just have to push from the bottom and usually the candy will come out neatly. And everything's out. We got some... Where's the camera? Some decent looking ones came out. And some that had a little extra on top because it was hardening too fast and didn't smooth out well. But they can all be eaten. There. So that wasn't too bad a haul for about 40 minutes of work. Well, a lot of waiting time. Another good one there. So I might be able to package up one package to sell and have a good snack for myself. So until next time.